you guys. That's what keeps this going and helps us kind of gear it to you guys. So I'm going to give you some basic stuff, and then I want you guys to ask me questions, and we will guide it around what you guys have or what you need help with, okay? So today, first off, we're from Advocates to End Domestic Violence, which is the domestic violence program here in Carson City. We serve Carson City and Lyon County. And so we're here to help people. That just because we've been in quarantine doesn't mean that we don't have people here with us in shelter, and that includes families and kiddos, and from young to old we have here with us. So that did not change just because everything else has kind of been turned upside down on us. We're still here. What I really want to talk about with you guys today is healthy relationships and the equality wheel for teens. So if you remembered, or if you've seen the presentation on teen dating violence, we talked about the power and control wheel. So does anybody remember, like, even power and control wheel, or what are some of the types of abuse? Can anyone in the chat box tell me like a type of abuse? I know it's late.
Someone has to know this.
Oh, mental abuse?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Very true. Physical. Awesome. There's a couple more. Sexual abuse. Yes. Emotional. Awesome. You guys have named, you've named them, except you're missing one, but it goes into the other. It goes into the others. You're right, because we have verbal and emotional abuse we put together, physical. And remember, physical can be hitting, punching, biting. It does not just have to be like a shove. It can be as little as a pinch. Out of those, financial, absolutely. And that's part of the power and control wheel, because if somebody's using their finances over somebody, they've got the power and control over someone else. You guys are awesome. And sexual abuse, of course. Sexual abuse, we are here to help you guys 24/7. There is a sexual assault team, which, fun fact, the two of us here are the ones who run that program. So you guys, much like everything else, cultural, absolutely. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second too. You guys, much like our domestic violence program, our sexual assault program did not go away during all of this. In fact, we've been out on a lot more calls than normal. Can anyone guess on sexual abuse in Carson City what the average age of our clients are? So in 2019, what do you think was the average age of one of our clients that we helped? You can totally type it in the chat box. 14, 17, 16. You guys are good.
And they listened when you were talking in the library. Thank you for your input, you guys.
I'm so proud of you guys. This makes me very happy. Yes, you guys are right, under the age of 16. So the average victim was 14. Out of 122 people that we helped last year, the average client that we helped was 14. So you guys are 100% correct. And a lot of times we say, under the age of 16, because there's so many littles and teens. So I want you guys to know that we're here. We're here to help survivors. We're here to help families with that whole process. So no matter if it's domestic or sexual assault, as I'm talking, and if Craig joins me as well, you're going to hear me say maybe abuser or victim or perpetrator. All of those words, victim, of course, means what? What does victim mean? Does anybody remember? I asked a lot of questions. You guys were doing good. Can somebody tell me what victim is? Yes, the person being attacked, the person that's getting abused, absolutely. So that's a victim. But remember, there's a trick to that. We never refer to somebody as a victim. At the time somebody's coming to us for help or that we're talking with someone, they're a survivor. So always know that. But when I'm training and talking to you guys, I will use the word victim. I want you to know the difference. When we're actually working with somebody, we don't ever refer to them as victim. We call them survivor. And the perpetrator or abuser is the person doing the abuse. You guys are so good. So when we're talking about these things, does it matter if they're female or male or in the same sex relationship or purple or blue or white or brown? It does not matter. It does not matter if you have lots of money. It does not matter if you have nothing. It goes across the board. It does not care about any of that. So you guys did totally pay attention to us. So where we talked about all the bad and not so good stuff in class, today we're going to talk a little bit more about the healthy side of a relationship. So excuse me, does anybody have an idea of what the teen, I'm just going to take a sip of water. Does anybody have an idea of what the teen equality wheel might be? So I don't know if any of you are watching. So much like we took that piece of the pie, the teen power and control wheel, and we talked about pieces of it, we have a teen equality wheel. So we have 8 different pieces of the pie. Can anyone guess what some of those pieces might be? And they're basic. So when I say there's 8 pieces, it's much like the using financial is one of the ones for the teen power and control wheel. It would be along that same line for the teen equality wheel. So I will give you one, and that is sharing power. Can anyone think what one of the other pieces might be? Respect, yes, it is. For sure. So, and we can start with that one. So respect, listening to her or him, not being judgmental, being emotionally affirming and understanding, valuing the other person's opinions. Consent, yes, absolutely. You guys are good. And then one of the other ones is trust and support, supporting somebody's goals in life, respecting them for their rights to make their own judgments and their feelings with their friends and their activities and their opinions. So they get to have the support for their own choices. Honesty and accountability. So accepting the responsibility for self, acknowledging past use of violence might be, admitting being wrong. Okay, let's be realistic. How hard is it to admit that we're wrong?
It's very hard.
It is. I today just had to admit that I was wrong on something. It was very hard. Cray enjoyed it because she was right. Communicating openly and truthfully. So those 3 are pieces of the pie. Then we've got using self-confidence and personal growth, respecting your personal identity and encouraging you for your individual growth and freedom, and supporting and giving them the security in their own worth. Then shared power is the one I gave you guys. So if you've got shared power, the one difference is you're not power over somebody else. There's not something that somebody's got over somebody else. In a healthy relationship, it can go a little bit, the power and control goes a little teeter-totter, right, for different things, but ultimately it should be pretty even. Some things there might be a little bit more power to somebody and a little bit less, but it's going to equal out. So much like if you're holding a bucket which I like to have you guys hold a bucket and you start putting rocks in it. So what happens if you're holding your arms out with big rocks in it? And then your partner starts saying that you're not good, you're worthless. And that keeps adding rocks to one side. What could be things that could even that out? Yeah, they get tired. For sure. And if somebody's saying mean things, it's adding more rocks, whether it's small rocks or big ones. Yep, they start to give up. How long do you think you guys can hold that for a really long time, even with people, maybe they're adding, so they told you were ugly and horrible today, but then they call you later tonight and they tell you, oh, but you're so nice and you helped me with my homework. So on the other side, it's adding another rock. So now you're evening out, but you can only do that for so long, right? Before exactly you start to give up. So with shared power, you're a little more even. And yes, give or take a little bit, but it's much more even keel. Communication. What do you think in an average day talking with your partner, how many times do you guys think you might talk? Whether it's text or you're talking to them, you're talking to them on the phone or on Snapchat. Does anybody have an idea? It's very hot in our office. Hours. Yes, constantly. Yep. A good 14 hours. Yep. Maybe 5 or 6 times. Yes. Every minute, a couple times. Okay, so if you guys are Snapchatting each other, and there's the messages and you don't want to leave them on read, you're talking constantly, right? But when someone starts every 2, maybe 30 seconds, they're texting you and they're sending you messages and they have to know where you are or what you're doing. Who you're with.
What are you wearing?
Yeah, it's toxic. What? You guys are awesome at this. I love the chat box. You guys are doing so good. What happens when that continually goes on? Your communication isn't level anymore, right? In your bucket, somebody keeps putting a lot more little pebbles in there. Because I'll say a text is a small little pebble, but how many small pebbles can fit in your bucket? Not a ton. So there's a way to communicate properly or, nicely. And yes, talking all the time is a normal thing. Yep. But yeah, you can get annoyed. Like if your phone keeps going off every 2 seconds, it can be very annoying. Exactly. You start to feel that they don't trust you and you lose value in the relationship. And your trust does start to break down. So if you have that good communication, you've got that willingness to be like, hey, I'm gonna go do this for so long. I'll check in with you later or we'll talk when I'm done. You don't have to be every 5 seconds talking. Now, let me preface that. I do know you guys love your phones and your text messages and your Snapchats and all of that good stuff and TikTok. I know that. So I'm taking that out of this. But if you're in a relationship, the communication with you guys, yeah, you feel like they're your parent and not your partner. Absolutely. Your parent gets to nag you, right? Or the adults in your life, whoever that might be, they have that joy of getting to bug you. And you can't say that much, right? But your partner, you don't have to do that. And it shouldn't feel like somebody's your parent unless they are. That's awesome. So the good communications, it's great to have open communication. And then the last one that we have, we have 2 because we started with respect. Non-threatening behavior. So talking and acting so that they feel safe and comfortable expressing themselves and doing things together. So also fits with communication, right? That if you are having good conversations and you guys are in a healthy spot and you can be talking and you can express how that relationship is going. Those are good things. And then the last one is seeking satisfactory results in conflict. So in a relationship, is it totally normal to have arguments? Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it really is. I'm not going to say a normal relationship doesn't have arguments. If you're in a good relationship, you will have arguments. But the thing is, you guys can work together to work on the end result so that you can have an argument, but it can be a safe argument. No hitting or screaming should go on. You should be able to talk about it. And if there is an argument and you aren't sure how to deal with it, that's okay. It's okay to have to step away and go cool off and do something else and then come back to that conversation and talk about it in a safe place, in a safe zone where you feel comfortable that you can communicate. Because what happens when we get too mad? Right? Because if we get too mad, is it really kind of hard to communicate because we're too mad? Yeah, and then you can lose control. Yep, you start to flip out. You can start hitting things. Yes. So those arguments, our hope is that they never get to that part. So if it's starting to hit to those directions where you want to go hit something, you're saying stuff you don't mean because you can't take it back. Once you said it, it's out there. And even though you didn't necessarily for sure mean it, you've said it, right? So that's where taking that time to cool off and then come back and talk about it. And everyone's had their time. And it might take somebody a lot longer than the other person. So you got to use that communication and you have to have that respect with each other to make sure that you can come back to that spot. So I have to respect that my partner needs more time, even though now I've cooled down. And I don't think I'll say anything that I'll regret later, but my partner needs a little bit longer because they wanted to go hit something from what we were saying. So you have to have that respect, that communication, and that shared power. So that's the fun part of the teen equality wheel. And so this is the direct one for you guys for teens. It's not the adult one. It's for you guys. Do you guys have any questions on the teen equality wheel? When you're in a relationship that's healthy, there's pieces of this that are going on. Same like with the teen power and control wheel, don't you think, right? But you're not all of it's going on at the same time. I may not have self-confidence on this, something that I'm doing, but my partner has the respect to comfort me and encourage me and say, you are okay and it will be okay. So not all pieces are always used at the same time, but you want to have equal power. If someone has that power over somebody else, it's not good. So with this fun social distancing, we have some things that, can you guys still have relationships, healthy relationships while you're in this, while we're in this COVID-19 time? Yeah, you can. So does anybody have an idea of what you guys could do even while social distancing that's appropriate? Video call? Yes. FaceTime like 57 hours? Yeah. Is everyone getting used to FaceTiming and Zooming or Google meetings and Skype? Yeah, I still hate it too. You know, I've grown to like some things Yep, FaceTime or classroom meets. There's so many different ways, right, that you can communicate face to face, yet still far away. Ooh, you can totally take a bike ride. You could, can you watch a movie or a TV show together and not be in the same room? Absolutely. We can't
report.
book report.
Well, you read a fun book and then you talk to each other about it.
Yeah. Okay, you could read a book. You could do like a book club.
Not a school book, but a fun book.
I thought she was saying like a book for school. I was like, give them a break. They're just getting
fun book.
They're just getting soon to be on summer break. Sheesh, guys. Yes, you
like
can.
Game of Thrones.
The house party app and playing games. Yes, you can. You guys, you can't go to any plays or shows. Technically, you can go to the movies now, soon this weekend in Nevada. So you could meet and stay within your social distancing 6 feet apart and still do that. So that some things are lifting now, right? So we've got a little bit more freedom. Could you do a yoga class or an exercise class together? Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Would you want to?
You can do that. And so many people drop off your favorite drink and snack to their house. Yes, that is so awesome. So you guys are right. You can do all these things. You can go and watch videos together. You can, the workout videos and things, those are so cool, where not too long ago we didn't have that access, but now a lot more people have access to doing those things, which I think is kind of cool. What else have you guys done? Tell me some ideas. Have you guys done anything? I love the taking their favorite drinks and snacks to their house. Have you guys done anything else? That's right. You guys do have yoga. Partnership has the yoga class on Mondays. That is awesome. And I mean, and it's free, where normally you have to pay to go to yoga, and it's not cheap to go to yoga, and it's a really cool class. I mean, that's an awesome offer. So has anybody found any kind of the cool free things that you guys can do now that we couldn't always do? I know some of the movies were released where you might have to pay a little bit, but you could watch one of the movies at home. For little kids, there's people are reading books to them and all sorts of stuff. So I want you guys to know it's okay. You guys can have relationships even during our social distancing. We have, I also write along. Yes. Oh, that's very nice. You can go on walks. Yes. And we live in Nevada. What's the cool part about Nevada? You can hike in Nevada and still be in town. So we have awesome places to go hike. It is hot now. That's true. But if you leave earlier, a little bit later in the evening, and not take a big one, you can still go out on those hikes. Carson City has the pretty waterfall one. And I know they closed it off for a while, but I think it's open again. And in Carson City, if you follow one of theirs, thank you, Kings Canyon Waterfalls. If you follow Carson City Parks and Rec, they've got their people going out and doing cool tours. You can tour museums right now online. So that's something that you guys could do, or zoos. Who doesn't want to go through a zoo and look at the cute little fun animals that are in the zoos? So there are cool things that you guys can do at the same time and be talking about it, right? So there's a site that we use a lot called loveisrespect.org. Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. The app, the Trails app, and it has a ton of hiking trails everywhere and gives you the directions so you don't get lost. Ooh, that's very cool. So Love is Respect has a ton of things to offer you for you guys. It's got information on teen dating violence, but it's got information on healthy relationships. I'm sorry. I have this cough up here. We have every window open up here because it's hotter than heck up here, and we're upstairs in an old building. So something's growing, and I'm not sick. It's just this.
She doesn't have the COVID virus.
I do not.
She has allergies.
Nevada has bipolar weather. It does. Which is where you should always be prepared if you're going on a hike to be prepared for any type of weather, right? And you never know. It could be cold today and hot tomorrow. So one thing they have is they have a healthy relationship quiz, which is really kind of cool. So you're the person, so you get to answer these. Some of the questions are, is the person supportive of the things that I do? Well, your partner should be supportive. Encourages me to try new things. If you're in a healthy relationship, that is good to encourage somebody. Likes to listen when I have something on my mind. Understands what I have my own life too. So can Cray, if Cray had her partner, if they don't like the same things and she likes to go to the movies, she's not going to go hiking and she's not going to do a yoga class, is that okay? Absolutely. I can totally like yoga and my partner hates it, and that's okay. So we can separate and do different things and we can have different friends in different social circles. That's totally okay. Says I'm too involved in different activities. So that could be a question. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? Thinks I spend too much time trying to look nice is one of the questions. Controls what I wear or how I look. So do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? Controls what I wear or how I look.
That's a huge red flag.
Yeah, for sure. That is. If I wanted to wear this fun red nose all day long, which some of you can see and some of you can't. If I wanted to wear a fun clown nose, I can. We may look silly, but if I want to look silly, I get that choice. They should let you do you, for sure. They should support you with how you are and encourage you to be who you are. Gets extremely jealous or possessive. What do you guys think? Is that bad or good? Yeah. That is toxic. It is. It's not good. Yes. Same respect I give them, you should be getting back. Absolutely. Makes me feel like no one else would want me.
Makes your nose sweat.
Yeah, that's terrible. Breaks things or throws things to intimidate me. We talked about that in the equality wheel, in the communication, that it's okay to have an argument, but you had said that, you might want to throw something, hit a wall, hit something. That is when it's hit a level that is not okay. Yes. Here's one. What do you guys think? Yells, screams, or humiliates me in front of other people? Like bad. Yep. It is bad. We've talked about this, and it's a touchy one in our little quiz, whether teasing is a good thing or a bad thing or an okay thing. But one thing we should never ever do is make fun of somebody.
Your purple hair really makes you look stupid.
Yeah, and to that I say that's nice, but I enjoy my purple hair. So telling that to somebody is one thing. So if Cray were to just tell me my hair is stupid.
It's purple. It's stupid. Makes her look silly.
That's one thing. But when it's not nice there, and that's not a good way to communicate. But especially if it's in front of my friends, that's going to be even worse. Who wants to be with someone who doesn't let me be me? Yep. Thanks. I was so excited I got to get my purple hair. I had some funny rainbow hair going, and I love rainbows, but it was turning all sorts of funkiness. So I was very excited. Text, we've already, okay. Well, we went through all those questions pretty fast, some of them. I want to leave some of them, so if you guys go on to the healthy relationship quiz, you guys can answer some of them. It also has ways to help. What can you do if you hear someone, thank you, if you hear somebody that says that they're in an abusive relationship, or they start telling those red flags, and that you realize that their equality is not there. There's that person that's definitely putting way more pebbles in a bucket than they should be. What could you do to help that person? Get them to tell someone? Yes. Absolutely. Who could they tell? Who might be somebody that they could talk to? Teacher, trusted adult, a trusted adult or friend, be supportive, a close friend. They could tell someone that they trust. Yes. So, or a parent. Absolutely. I'm going to twist this question. What happens if the person they're telling doesn't necessarily believe them, or doesn't think that something's wrong with that? What could somebody do at that point? Tell someone else. Yep. You go to someone else, a friend. Yeah. You guys, what we see a lot is that somebody may think it might just be a little weird. So they tell somebody and they're like, that's not that bad. That happened to me, or I heard that happened to Sally over here, or, that happened to Jennifer. She got through it. It was okay. But if it continues, you can go to somebody else. And it's good to get other people's opinion than just one person. Because I'm going to have a totally different opinion than Cray's going to have, or that Miss Bean's going to have, or that Samantha's going to have, right? We're all going to have a different opinion. Some might be helpful. Some might be like, okay. You need to keep asking. Yes. You can always go to the counselor if it gets really bad. Absolutely. That's what everyone is here for. And it can be an adult. And if your friend tells you that they've been hurt, what happens to that? If you're the person that they told, what do you do? Besides give them encouraging advice or tell them to talk to somebody, can you do anything as well? You can. You can tell an adult, a trusted person, because that might just be what that person needs to get some help. It is okay to try and keep them away from that person. You can try, but sometimes that doesn't always work. You can tell someone that you're comfortable with. Yes, absolutely. And sometimes we had this just recently where a teen had told another friend, and the teen didn't want to, you can tell a teacher, the teen didn't want to tell somebody and didn't want the help, but the friend knew it was something that it was bigger than what they could deal with. So they told a trusted adult. And that's how the help started. So it's okay, even if you're the person that somebody's told, and if you've got that feeling and you know this just isn't right and you need to try and help, that's okay. You can do that. You can help. Your friends may or may not be upfront and so excited that you told, but you got to do what's best. And you guys know way more than what we know. So trust, sometimes you got to trust your gut. Absolutely. So, do you guys have questions for us? You guys have been so good. I've talked for a long time, and I'm sure you're tired of my fabulous voice. I know. But do you guys have some questions for me or Cray? So, our number is 883-7654. And you can get us 24/7. There is always somebody on the other line to answer your questions. You guys, there's the people on the other line. It's sticky on my desk, on my computer screen. I was gonna say,
Excuse me.
sorry. I should know our texting hotline by heart, and I keep forgetting it. Yeah, so I'm getting it for you. So you guys can text us, you can call us. There's a variety of people on our crisis line, you guys. I have people who are 18. I have people who are much older than that. But we're here to help. So there's a vast variety. So don't think, even if you're talking to somebody that might be older, that they can't relate. I understand that part. Give them a try though. And we've got, like I said, I've got people who are 18 and just graduated last year, and I've got ones who are graduating this year who are joining our team. So there's a great variety. Okay, I've got a question. I wouldn't tell a friend because what is the friend going to do? Or what if our friend becomes not our friend later in life and spreads things?
Question.
That's a good question. So if you're not going to tell that friend, which I can see that, you could tell that adult, that person. You have to remember sometimes people are going to spread rumors and things that aren't true. And that's something that is hard to deal with, but you have to know what you stand for and what's important to you. And sometimes we have to forget or deal with those things that are spread around. Sometimes you also don't know what your friends are going through and if it might hurt them as well, or maybe they're in the same situation so they don't think something's wrong. I understand that part. So you've got options. If you don't feel comfortable telling your friend, maybe telling that trusted adult, you can text us at 20121, and you text the word Sarah, S-A-R-A, or AEDV. So we're here by that. You can check out our website, which is aedv.org. You've got the Love is Respect website. That's honestly one of the best ones for teens. You've got RAIN for sexual assault help. And they have a texting line and a 1-800 number. And if you call their 1-800 number and you're from our area, you'll get patched back to us. So if some reason you can't think of our number, you can't find it, do not worry about that. You can call that 1-800 number and they'll get you to your local group. Have we seen an increase in verbal abuse over social media in relationships during COVID? We have, but you guys have to know that sometimes it's hard for somebody to reach out for help during COVID because they're always with that person. Where when things were normal, which we're not going to necessarily get to go back to, right? We have a new normal. People were going out and doing different things. And I know we're starting to get into that, but the abuse has gone up because they're stuck in that same house, in that same place with someone. Okay, what if they start saying that you're in a relationship with, and you aren't?
Ask them to give you an example.
Mhm.
You know, you can't just say to somebody, you're abusive. You know, you have the right to say, well, give me an example. Tell me what I said that was abusive or how I acted. And then you get to decide whether you agree with that or not.
Some best example I have is some people are screamers and some are not. And so if I'm screaming, maybe I'm not. To me, I'm not mad or upset. I'm just screaming. But that's how I deal with something. And to somebody else, that is abusive and that's scary. So having that communication and trying to figure out that that wasn't abusive in my mind at all, but it was to somebody else. So you have to talk those through and figure that out. With COVID, we've seen an increase. We're still here to help. There's clever ways to try and ask for help if you can't leave the home. If you do get to go to the grocery store, that's a time that you could ask. If you have to go to the doctor for whatever reason, that's a time that you can get away sometimes, because the part with the doctor's offices is they're not letting other people in. It is only the person that has that appointment. So that's a great time to be able to talk. People are stressed completely. They've lost their jobs. And although there's unemployment, not absolutely everyone has qualified for unemployment, and not all the jobs are going to come back. So we know that we're going to continue to see an increase across the board. Our state talks on a regular basis. We have a coalition. So all the agencies in our state have talked quite a bit, and where we've seen an increase already, we know that the increase is going to get worse as we go on. Because right now you aren't necessarily going to get evicted, but that is going to change. So we're preparing for an even heavier increase, and our sheriff's office has been getting more calls for domestic violence cases. So we do have a good working relationship with our sheriff's office. So if they need us, they are able to give us a call, but they've gone on a lot more domestics. Social media plays a huge part. Can you be extra mean to do you guys think you can be extra mean to someone on social media where you might not have said that to somebody if they were right in front of you?
Yes.
Yep.
And anonymity, thinking that your Facebook post is funny when it's really not.
Yeah, and what's also something wrong when we're texting, can you see the person's reaction or how it's going and feed off of that when you're just texting or on a message? Yep, you can't. I think it's different because they don't have to deal with it. Yep, absolutely. So remember that a lot of times we see that those texts and the social media, you can be a lot more mean than necessarily in person. And you can type it and send it, and you're right, there's no tone or voice to that, so you have no clue. And you may read it one way, and it might have actually said something else, but you've read it one way, and it can be worse than what it was meant to be. Absolutely. Yes, that is so true. There is awesome seniors who have come together and are doing seniors as in high school seniors, not the elderly, who are going to do a food drive for us at Mills Park on Saturday, and from 9 to noon. We are so very grateful. You guys, our food pantry is looking kind of sad, and when I say that, we're short on food, meaning our dry goods and things are definitely down. In April, normally there's this Stamp Out Hunger food drive, and that all the different agencies who hand out food normally get some in Carson from that. With that being canceled, that definitely set a lot of us back, because that's kind of how we replenish until we can get to the end of the year food drives. So we are so very grateful that they are putting on that food drive for us, because it is so needed on our end. You know, we help those that stay with us, because someone can stay with us for up to 5 months. So we want to give them food while they're with us. We're also able to help those who've stayed with us who still need help once they've left. So it's 9 to noon at Mills Park. Do you guys have any other questions for me? Here's our thrift stores, Classy Seconds. We own and operate that. The reason we have that is to help our clients here. So if you like to thrift or you like to buy cheaper things, there's all sorts of cool goodies there. It is open. That was a huge hit for us, having that closed for a while, but we're excited it's open. That keeps the air on and the heat on and paying those electrical bills, those fun things. Not so much. That's the adulting part that's not so fun. I know adulting always seems so delightful. Not always. Those bills. COVID really did mess up a lot of things. It did. But I'm excited, you guys. We're getting to new levels and new phases. I think we'll start to see a new normal. Cray put back her nose on because it's fun. You guys have been awesome. We are here 24/7. You can go to our website. You can text us. You can call us. We're always here to help you guys.
And everyone, I will post those, the website, the texting line, as well as the phone number for Advocates to End Domestic Violence tomorrow in Google Classroom. I want to thank Tracy and Cray from Advocates to End Domestic Violence for being with us tonight and talking through that power wheel, as well as how to build healthy relationships. Because during social isolation and COVID-19, we're not with our friends. And I think today, one of the questions I asked my classes was, what do you miss most about school? And everybody said friends and lunch and those socialization opportunities. So it's really important that you're reaching out to people and checking on them and asking how everybody is. And like Josh had mentioned, doing nice little things for people unexpectedly. That's really a good way to build a healthy relationship. So if we have no other questions, again, I'd like to thank Partnership Carson City and Samantha for hosting this tonight and partnering with me in providing these presentations. And I think it's very valuable information that we've been hearing. And also like to thank the Department of Public Behavioral Health and Substance Abuse Primary Prevention for hosting this as well.
You guys have
Thank
been
you, Tracy. Oh, sorry.
awesome.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Erin, and thank everyone else for being here tonight.
You guys have been awesome. Thank you guys. Really, I know it's been hard, and I know it will continue to be a little different for us all as we keep going. But like Miss Bean said, just reach out. If you're reaching out and it's different, it is through those text messages, those FaceTimes, just keep in touch and check in on everybody, and that will kind of help a little bit. And as things start to ease up with our phases, I think we'll start to feel a little bit better. But know that there's always people everywhere to still help.
And there is help out there. So like the text line or the call number or the website or Love is Respect, like check those out. Like I think they're very valuable resources. Also, we will have another Zoom presentation, and it will be Partnership Carson City presenting on Tuesday. It's a little different than our normal Thursdays, but it will be Tuesday at 6 p.m. And we'll be talking about now what? Now that school's over and you don't have schoolwork, what are you gonna do if we're still in isolation? So I think Partnership Carson City has a lot of resources and a lot of information they're gonna be providing us. So I invite you all to come to that presentation on Tuesday, June 2nd at 6 p.m.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming, everyone. I appreciate your time. And Tracy and Cray, again, thank you for your valuable information.
You got it. No, thank you guys. I hope you guys all have a great summer.
We'll try. All right.
Bye.
Thank you for coming. Bye, everyone.